Welcome to Daily Scripture Reading. I do not own the rights to this music. Judges chapter 2. This is the Amplified Version. Israel rebuked. Now the angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochum, and he said, I brought you up from Egypt, and led you to the land which I swore to give to your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. And as for you, you shall not make a covenant with the inhabitants of this land. You shall tear down their altars, but you have not obeyed me. What is this that you have done? So I also said, I will not drive your enemies out before you, but they will be like thorns in your sides, and their gods will be a snare to you. When the angel of the Lord had spoken these words to all the Israelites, the people raised their voices and wept. So they named that place Bochum, weepers, and there they offered sacrifices to the Lord. Joshua dies. And when Joshua had sent the people away, the tribes of the Israelites went each to his inheritance to take possession of the land. The people served the Lord all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua, who had seen all the great work of the Lord, which he had done for Israel. Then Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110, and they buried him in the territory of his inheritance, in Timnath-Heres, in the hill country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gaash. Also, all the people of that generation were gathered to their fathers in death, and another generation arose after them, who did not know, recognize, understand the Lord, nor even the work which he had done for Israel. Israel serves Baals. Then the Israelites did evil in the sight of the Lord, and worshipped and served the Baals, and they abandoned the Lord, the God of their fathers, who brought them out of the land of Egypt. They followed other gods from the gods of the peoples who were around them, and they bowed down to them and offended and provoked the Lord to anger. So they abandoned the Lord and served Baal, the pagan god of the Canaanites, and the Ashtaroth. So the anger of the Lord burned against Israel, and he gave them into the hands power of plunderers, who robbed them, and he sold them into the hands of their surrounding enemies, so that they could no longer stand in opposition before their enemies. Wherever they went, the hand of the Lord was against them for evil, misfortune, as the Lord had spoken, and as the Lord had sworn to them, so that they were severely distressed. Then the Lord raised up judges who rescued them from the hands of those who robbed them. Yet they did not listen to their judges, for they played the prostitute after other gods, and they bowed down to them. They quickly turned aside from the way in which their fathers had walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord. They did not do as their fathers. When the Lord raised up judges for them, he was with the judge, and he rescued them from the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For the Lord was moved to pity by their groaning, because of those who oppressed and afflicted them. But when the judge died, they turned back and behaved more corruptly than their fathers, in following and serving other gods, and bowing down to them. They did not abandon their practices or their stubborn ways. So the anger of the Lord burned against Israel, and he said, because this nation has transgressed, violated my covenant, binding agreement, which I commanded their fathers, and has not listened to my voice, I also will no longer drive out before them any of the nations which Joshua left to be conquered when he died, in order to test the loyalty of Israel by them, whether Israel will keep the way of the Lord to walk in it, as their fathers did or not. So the Lord allowed those nations to remain, not driving them out at once, and he did not give them into the hand of Joshua. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.